Following a tip from O'Connor, Minuteman pursues his communist quarry to an abandoned paper warehouse.
Now to track down that pesky Ruski and find out what's what!
And in the wings, a stranger stands, watching.
The human is promising. Perhaps he will fit my purpose.
Best to avoid the guards.
So the objective of this mission is to find that Russian that we interrogated O'Connor about. He's somewhere in this precinct. Precinct being the term I'm going for no apparent reason. Highly inaccurate, but that is pretty much how I roll. So we can avoid the guards or just blast through. There's a lot of guards, so it's probably better to avoid them. And also one of the secondary objectives is to not get spotted by the guards. I need to get to there, I believe. And we need to avoid these alarm houses. If anyone gets in those, the thing with the little red thing on top, then they're going to summon the guards and it's all going to kick off. I'm not going to be very happy about it. So ideally probably just stay on the roofs. I hope no one notices me. This guy's there. Hopefully they're just going to be completely oblivious to the very loud noise of someone jumping onto a roof behind them. Yep, excellent. Oh. Someone's shooting at me, which is never an ideal. Should guard on. Now I'm ready to go. Who's on the roof? Which is fine, because that's definitely the worst place he could be. Seeing as I have a great time dealing with gravity, he doesn't. Exhibit A. I guess he was kind of like the red guy in Star Trek, the one that goes down with the mission crew, and it's always him that dies first. He knew it was his day to go. Back on this roof. So let's try and the classic patrol case. He's actually just standing staring at a wall, but you know, when you employ these thugs, you kind of get what you pay for. I guess he could also be relieving himself. Right, Minuteman, deal with these before he gets to this here alarm house. This here alarm house? Nope, that's a swing and a miss. Thank you. Right, deal with this one though. Get up to keeping up to the high ground. Generally, in the game, high ground's a massive advantage. Oh, lordy. Oh, I'm never making it to him in time. Okay, so secondary objective was gone. Where that guy's running off to, I'm not really sure. But no, yep. I'm assuming there was some sort of sale on clothing. That or they were just rocked up at work. I was just like, awkward. Gone for the same outfit here. Don't really have time to go back and change. He's stunned. But now is not the time, so I'm going in a taxi screaming for help. I'm a little bit busy here. Sort of being attacked. You know? Sort of being shot at. Sure, it's too much, but so are your fares. You don't hear me screaming about that all day long, do you? If you don't mind, I'm going to save myself before I save you. Just the man that can dodge everything. Maybe he should be the superhero around here. Right. Oh, you're just going to drive off, not even going to thank me. You going to thank me, sir? No, you're going to run me over. The slightly moving taxi, the bane of every superhero's life. So I'm just going to take you with me. It's the only way you'll learn. I like how no one screams now. People are shooting at me near a taxi, and he kicks off, wanting help, needing saving. It's all too much for him. War's coming to an end. But I am physically carrying him in a non-upright position, and he's cool with it. He's completely fine with it. Ideally in this game anyway, it's always quite a good idea to take something with you, so an object. Not throwing at your head, that's usually not the best idea. But like, a taxi obviously does a lot of damage to a group of things. And it doesn't slow you down too much carrying if you've got a big guy. Especially in the early levels, but you're like the only hero. It's just like a good preparation. So I'm probably going to grab this back up and wander it this way, towards this, hopefully the final area. Keeping this taxi with me at all times. Never know when you're going to need the transport. So I've missed out on a second objective here, which is not ideal in terms of prestige that I'll lose. Usually actually the prestige is equivalent to killing like 1 or 2 guys, but obviously depending on the objective it does vary. And it's not that important at the start, but later on, especially if you want to make your own superheroes, because they can be costly unless you give them every weakness under the sun.
It's all over,
And the more prestige, the better.
The inexperienced fool can't tell it's a trap.
Capitalist fool. O'Connor's men had warned me hours before you got here. Did you not think I was expecting you? Goodbye. See you in the next life.
There's too many of them. I can't take them alone, even with my new powers.
Stand aside, Earthling.
Wow, he is going at an incredible pace. Not like I'm surrounded by a load of guys. Don't worry about it, no rush. This sort of fake sprinting seems fine. Okay. Can I control him? No, not yet. Right. Guess we just clear out these guys. Well, man in cape just stands there doing nothing. Oh no, he's doing the classic enrage, which is one of the status effects. Will just mean they'll attack someone near. Could be enemy, could be friend. It's not automatically going to be an enemy they go for. Could also be one of us. He must clean up. Nope, still go over there. It's surrounded by 3, and man in cape is proceeding to really not do much. You just stand there. Don't worry about it. I've got this. Let's go.
His lips are sealed. Perhaps this mysterious stranger can get an answer from him. Who are
Seems safe to assume a random man in a cape and a headband can read minds. Usually the way things go.
Pal, I like to know who I'm working with.
There's no time. I must interrogate these felons.
Use Mentor to interrogate this fallen thug. He has the power to read minds. Perhaps he can discern more than the Minuteman.
By the moons of Raksha, bear your mind to me.
What? Huh? Sukov. Yeah. He went to our hideout. A factory on Liberty Lane.
All right, stranger. Let's find us a commie.
Don't hold back
Who is
there,
this
Minuteman.
odd-looking
Tell us what you
newcomer,
really think.
and what mysteries does he hold for Minuteman? Find out these answers and more in the next issue of Freedom Force.
That's the first part of that done. So not all round. I did the objectives. Obviously failed the last 2. Killed a fair amount of the guards, but not a huge amount. No penalties, no bonuses. So got the job done, but probably not going to get a letter of recommendation for it.
And so our perplexing pair arrive at the secret hideout of Sukov, the Soviet spy. And while Minuteman can't help but wonder what fate awaits him in the structure's concrete crevasses, he cannot help but wonder about the strange fellow beside him. Is he a newfound friend or fiendish foe?
Sukov's in here somewhere. We've got to find him, and fast.
I share your urgency. Let us not delay.
Okay, so now I can control both of them. I can drag to select both of them if I want to move them both at the same time.
Or double tap a number key to track a character.
Or like he's mentioning, I can double click them both into the portraits, all the thing to control them. The advantage of this is obviously, I've got 2 people now. Makes life a little bit easier, but obviously the amount of thugs will also increase to sort of even it out. But generally this is where the game gets a lot more interesting when you're sort of multitasking them, using their different abilities. Minuteman obviously is going to be the upfront bruiser here. Usually generally you try and get a bit of composition where you have like a couple of people that just go and attack, and more of the utility players as well, just to sort of as backup. But at the moment obviously they've both got, with only 2, they've both got to be sort of clearing people up. So I'll send him off to deal with anyone over there, and I'll stay around here. So again, it's always an advantage to be up high, usually, because people below you with guns can't actually shoot straight up. So, oh, it's got grenades. Nice. Stop them. So, I'll deal with these. Man with cape, you got that up there? I'll just deal with... You deal with that one guy, you just keep chasing him for about 20 minutes, and I'll deal with these 5 or 6 around here, this hole. We good with that, yeah? Cool, yeah, don't fret, you've got your cape. Imagine dry cleaning bit on that is extortionate. So, don't overtax you. How you getting on? Oh, there's 2 now? Yeah, probably want to bail out of that. I mean, one running away from you was a bit too challenging. It's alright, I've dealt with everyone up here. You just stall if you want, and I'll gradually get over there.
You are an open book to me.
Ready to serve.
I'm ready to serve.
So as the more keen-sighted and more observant of you may have realised, Man in Cape, which is what we refer to him for now until we get his real name, is not the best at dealing with people. He's good at pitting them against each other, but when it comes to killing them, he's really not the best at it. He just sort of stands there with a blue light above his head while he takes a baseball bat to the face, which doesn't win you many fights, it turns out. Again, he knew. Alright. Can you? Okay, Minuteman, obviously you can jump. Can you? No, you can't even jump on buildings, of course.
Ready for duty.
So it should be a criteria. If you've got a cape, you should be able to fly or at least jump very high.
I await.
I thought that was the rule, but apparently not.
Ready to serve.
Okay, so you're just going to hang at the back. I'll deal with most of it.
Front and center.
Oh, well done. There we go. 4, not the biggest impact there. Probably going to go for this, what looks like liquid nitrogen canister? Gas tank. Imagine that. Interesting. Hopefully do the job. Mine is now a block of ice.
Point me to our foe.
So there's mainly the two types of canister. There's the blue ones, or it's called like gas, it's just referred to as, which will freeze enemies, and then they don't do anything while they're in the ice, and then when you hit the ice, sort of encasing, it deals damage to them and thaws them. And then there's just TNT and explosives, which just do explosive damage and have a large knockback, and sort of send them anywhere really. So, deal with this last guy on this roof. No idea what Man in Cape's doing down there, apart from exploding stuff in front of him. Right, let's try and stun this man. That is one of the worst shots I've ever seen. Apparently Minuteman is highly inaccurate with Minute Missile, which is worrying that I put so many points into it in the upgrade last time then. Okay, so I'm going to use one of the medals here, use Heroic Remedy to really get my health back. See now the medal on Minuteman's portrait is gone, while on Man in Cape it remains there. Okay, so just got to clear the last few guys. I'm going to go over this TNT. There's a fair amount of damage and stuns, as you'd expect a large explosion to do. He's already stunned, but let's miss. I mean, he's not moving, Minuteman.
Far enough, Sukov.
He's not even moving, and you can't hit him.
Draped in that hideous flag. You and it shall kneel before Sukov.
Okay, you just hide behind building and let Minuteman deal with it. It's probably for the best.
Point me to our foe.
Let's get back on full health. I'll get to the higher caliber enemies. They can take down the weaker ones, which have less health, which obviously, as you can see, that was a few shots and he's almost gone to half health there. So it's better to try and keep them up on high. Oh.
Too much. I give in.
No more Mayday parades for you,
So,
pal.
Perhaps we should interrogate him
Kamikaze
to find out
is an
exactly
option.
what he knows.
Not many superheroes seem to employ it, so I'm a bit rogue, but it seems to get the job done. You know, if there's two of you, one of you can sacrifice yourself. Ideally, Man in Cape would have sacrificed himself, but let's interrogate this guy. It's just anything. Just want to see if there's any of the XP canisters that can be picked up. Can't really see any. They could be in boxes, but it'll take me ages to rattle through those.
Let us cleanse the area
I'm pretty sure
of
there's none on
evil
this level.
first.
Oh, so I've got to actually. So I've got to kill two people with him. Now, if you saw how long it took him to deal with one guy running away, it's a bit of an issue. So I think the best plan is to try and set them off against each other. It's probably my best bet here. I mean, generally he's not. Just resisted that. They have I think it's a 25% chance, the basic thugs, to resist any sort of mental attack. So obviously he's not best in combat, so it's best to sort of keep him to their strengths, and that's what this game's all about, really, is, you know, getting a team that's got a good composition, and playing each one to their strengths. So for instance, you know, if those two were on there, and I still had both of them alive, although it's quicker to send Minuteman in, it's probably easier just to make them fight each other, and then let Minuteman in to pick up the pieces. Because a lot of these levels are reasonably easy, even though I did blow myself up a little bit. Just a little bit. As the later ones go on, you know, they're longer, and you've really got to preserve your health, because you'll face so many more guys, and they'll be a lot stronger. Unfortunately, when there's no one left to make them fight, I've actually got to fight them. And Man in Cape is not the most adept at that, so the best bet is to use the cortical suppression, which is the thing that blanks them, makes them wander around. Which I could miss with, because unfortunately they keep running. It's not ideal. And then hit them while they're blanked. Because if you see, I'm just never catching up to him here. So get right next to him, go for cortical expression. Hit him while he's in it. And while I'm getting shot. Oh, actually, just using him as a human shield, ideal. Oh, I can jump on a van. You see, that's the strength levels, is how high you can jump. And the agility. And so he's got enough to jump on a van, but not necessarily on a building. So different levels of building he'd be able to get up on. Not particularly well. Man in Cape, you're improving. Okay. So the secondary objective here is to knock out all the guards, so if I can deal with this guy, that'd be ideal. Can I get up there? Let's break this fence first. It's not the most efficient way of breaking down a fence. Okay. I don't think this cortical suppression is going to reach him, because it's actually got a height limit. There you see, it doesn't reach him. So, even though he's a man, and he got up there, I'm a superhero and I can't figure it out. I can't figure out how I get up there. Ladders. Apparently my weakness. Minuteman's weakness is the slow moving taxi. Man in Capes. Ladders are just too much. Too much to handle. There's another man on that roof as well. Yeah, this is never happening. No, I'm going to see if I can interrogate this guy. If I still had Minuteman, I'd go around, because it's probably worth getting the prestige. I mean, everyone in this looks like they're running, or putting so much effort into their running, and they just never get anywhere.
Time for a chat. What are you up to with O'Connor?
Exercise care. I sense he, like you, has been exposed to Energy X.
Get away, running dog!
Hold it right there!
Beware!
Missed!
Minuteman there being as accurate as ever.
Freezing me!
Intriguing. The Energy X is interacting with the liquid nitrogen.
Energy what?
Come, we must depart.
Wait a minute, mister.
There's no time, Frank Styles. We have much to discuss, but this is not the place.
Observe. The minimal energy X he has absorbed will allow him to survive the freezing process. And then our little experiment shall commence.
That there was actually one of the origin explanations for Sukov. And obviously we'll be meeting him again there, and after that the man that sounded as if he was trying to gargle mouthwash while speaking, we'll meet him further on the line, and he'll play obviously quite a key part in how the story develops. We can also see here that officially Man in Cape is known as Mental, a highly original name for a man that uses mental powers as his main forte. Can only assume the creators had a pretty late night coming up with that. So that's another mission done, and soon we need to find this Sukov fella.